What's up, guys? We're here to talk about Wicked. Oh my gosh, this movie was incredible, and I'm here to give you my thoughts. I'm just going to preface this and say that there will be some slight spoilers here. Not any major spoilers, just like I'm going to give my thoughts on it, and if my thoughts kind of trickle into a little bit of spoilers, that's fine. I mean, it just is what it is. But I'm not going to try to spoil anything or give anything major. So if you haven't seen Wicked and you don't even want like the slightest of spoilers, then go see the movie first and come back to this review. But if you don't really mind some little slight spoilers, then just know you've been warned. So I'm on my way home. I have about a 45-minute drive, so I figured I'd film this while I'm driving, and hopefully you guys can hear me okay. I realized something in my time of doing reviews and YouTube stuff. Don't do these reviews live or film anything from your car or like out in public unless you have a professional setup that's really, really good. Like really what it all comes down to is your internet connection. Unless you have a great internet connection wherever you're at, then don't do anything live because it makes the sound crappy. I figured that out. This whole time I thought it was my microphones I had going bad, and no, it was just the connection. So I've tested it, I've verified it, so yeah. But yeah, today for the first time in a long time I did a triple feature. Made good use of that Regal Unlimited Pass. I mean, I can't hype up the Regal Unlimited Pass enough. If you're a big-time movie fan and you live close to a Regal theater, get a Regal Pass. It's $20 a month, and you see as many movies as you want. And if you see a lot, it's way more than worth it. So the only problem for me is that it's about almost an hour drive for me to use my Regal Pass. But anyways, yeah. So I saw 3 movies. First movie I saw was Gladiator 2, then I saw Wicked, and then I saw Heretic. And part of me kind of wishes I didn't see Heretic at the end of the night. Not to say it was a bad movie. That movie's actually good, and I'll do a separate review on that movie. But I just want to talk about Wicked for this review. It's the first one of the 3 I want to talk about because it was my favorite of the triple feature. But it just kind of brought the vibe and the whole like mood down a little bit when I was on a real high after seeing Wicked. So yeah, I'll just tell you guys right now, Wicked is my number 1 movie of 2024. Number 1 with a bullet, easy. And this is coming from someone that's not into musicals. But I've seen 2 off-Broadway musicals. I've never been to New York to go to Broadway, but off-Broadway, like the touring, when the musicals go on tour, I've seen Wicked once and loved it. And I'll tell you that the movie is kind of better than the musical, and the musical ruled. So, and then I've seen Phantom of the Opera. So, and I still have yet to see a film adaptation of Phantom of the Opera that's even close to the musical, because oh my gosh, the musical is incredible. But yeah, like this absolutely blew me away. It knocked my socks off. The music, it was incredible. I wish I had. Usually when I'm at home I can pull up all this information on my computer. I'm gonna try to remember as many of the actors and things. I can't even remember the name of the actress that played the Wicked Witch of the West, or was it the East? But the Wicked Witch in the movie. I want to say there was Cynthia Erivo was her name. I think that's right, but don't quote me on that. I could be way off on that. But man, was she awesome! And also Ariana Grande was incredible. Man, Ariana Grande knows how to do comedy. Like I was laughing pretty dang hard from Ariana Grande. Just her little kind of like little nuanced thing, the movements and the way that she delivered the dialogue in such a quirky but like fun and like just like kind of hamming it up kind of way was like really fun. And it was fun to see it in a packed theater. I don't always love a packed theater, but for stuff like this I do, because I'm not a huge musical guy. So I get to see it in a theater that's nearly sold out with fans of the of musicals and of the movies, and luckily nobody in my theater sang the songs, because I'm sure most of the people that are going to see this know at least some of the songs. Like Defying Gravity is the big one, but and then there's like Unpopular, and then there's, I can't remember the song. There's a song when they go into the to the Emerald City for the first time that they sing. That's really cool. It might be my favorite of the whole movie. And one of the things about that scene, and this might be a minor spoiler, so if you want to fast forward like 30 seconds or so, or like 1 minute, go ahead. But it had Kristen Chenoweth and Idina Menzel came out, and they were singing. They also had this guy Michael McCormick, or it's like Michael McCormick Rose or something. He's the Broadway guy that was the narrator. Well, I think it's McCormick. I'm probably off in the middle name slightly, but like, even like not being a huge musical fan, when I saw Idina Menzel and Kristen Chenoweth walk out and start singing like that, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's like the original people who were freaking in the Broadway musical of Wicked. And I was like freaking out. I was like, oh my gosh. And like, I'm not someone who really cares about that stuff, but I just like was like, oh my gosh. Like, I'm like tapping into my inner gay person that loves musicals. I mean, everyone can love musicals, but I kind of felt that sense in a little way. But I was just like, man, this is so cool. And just everything from the set pieces to the costume design to like just everything in this movie was absolutely perfect. Like, it just made me so happy. And I definitely cried, especially at the end. But and like, I'm getting emotional even thinking about some of these songs and some of the scenes in the movie. But and it's only part one. It's Wicked Part 1. So man, am I glad that they split it into two, because we get a whole nother movie. And this movie was almost 3 hours. I think the runtime's like 2 hours and 40 minutes. That was the fastest 2 hours and 40 minutes of my life. That just flew by. I could have sat there for at least another hour and like been totally fine. So yeah, it's just oh man, just so good from beginning to end. And like every little like movement and like the choreography, the dancing, and like the way that they would just like jump onto a bed or slide off a table or like make some kind of little movement or snaps or anything. They were all in sync with the music and like perfectly timed. And man, whoever directed this and like came up with all that, man, props. I should have looked up who the director is. Oh, that's my bad for not knowing that. But so good though. I'm sure you guys can tell me in the comment section. But this is mostly, I just want to give you my thoughts and my reaction. I don't have all the information while I'm driving. Usually if I'm at my computer, I can look that stuff up. But man, I gotta defog my window. It's starting to, or my windshield's starting to fog up. But yeah, and like, first off, I'm thinking Ariana Grande is like the star of this thing, and it's so cool. And the guy that comes in, who's like a prince that comes in, he's awesome too. They do fun things with animals and like the fantasy of it all. And man, did they pay homage to the original Wizard of Oz like so much that it just like is awesome. There's a scene at the beginning that I won't spoil, but because that's kind of more of a spoiler, how they set things up. But yeah, and the first time that I saw this trailer premiere during the Super Bowl this year, like, I already knew. I called it. I was like, this movie is going to be something very special. Very special, that's going to make so many fans of musicals and just movies in general really happy. So, because I love when a movie just hits and just leaves you just going into the theater singing the songs and dancing, or just like on cloud nine because you're just like saw something so awesome. Versus like you go into a movie and it's like mediocre or bad, so you kind of don't feel that happy afterwards. But man, I was just loving every second. Even like, I don't love Bowen Yang, but even he's fun in this. With, I can't remember the heavier set girl that was with Bowen Yang, her name, but they were both fun together. Michelle Yeoh was great. Jeff Goldblum as the wizard was so much fun. And the look and feel of the Emerald City was really cool. And they go to this college called like man, I can't remember. It sounded like a swear word almost. This is a PG movie, but Chiz, or I can't remember what they called it, but it's some little short name like that. And I was like, oh, okay. But they're at a university, and then they get to go on a train the train looks really cool, the design of that, to the Emerald City, and because the witch is green, and you just see the witch's sister. She's in a wheelchair, so she has some kind of like thing that's different about her as well. And even like some of the Munchkin characters, they were fun. But the thing that got to me was near the end, defying gravity, when they finally sang that near the end, and you see that the wizard just doesn't have any power, and like he's just a guy, because you learn that in the original Wizard of Oz, that he's just like not pay no attention to the man behind the curtain, it's just a guy, and you find out some things about Michelle Yeoh's character, but that are kind of interesting, but yeah, but then you find out the power that the witch has, and it's like, whoa, and when they finally do defying of gravity and she flies, oh my gosh, chills, like you can't see my arm right now, you can't see it very good, but I have goosebumps just like thinking about that. It's like crazy, like when she gets her cape, and like the special effects are so on point. They're just like, oh, they're so good, and to see her fly around and just kind of, and there's some things with like flying monkeys and just, yeah, it's really, really cool. And then when the guards come in, but just seeing her fly, and the way that the music was just blasting loud, like hopefully your theater has it cranked up loud so you can just experience the music in like the best and loudest way possible. And yeah, just like seeing that though, and the way that her cape was just flying, she was flying all around the Emerald City and around the wizard's castle, was like it's like a moment I'm never gonna forget. It's like probably maybe my top moment of any movie this year. Like it's like the first time that you see Superman fly in a movie, and it's like movie magic. It's like when you see Jurassic Park for the first time, you see those dinosaurs, and your mind is just blown away. You see Indiana Jones pick up his hat for the first time, and you zoom into him, or the first time that you see Darth Vader in Star Wars when his lightsaber lights up, and it's movie magic, and you're like, oh my gosh, it's just incredible, it's so good. Like, I can't rave about this movie enough. I'm just like, oh man, I'll definitely be seeing it multiple times in theaters. This movie's gonna make so much money, it's gonna be crazy. So I wouldn't be surprised if this movie ends up being the highest grossing movie of the year. It's just that good. It's a movie that appeals to everyone. You can take your kids, you can take your friends, your parents, your like people who love musicals, people who don't love musicals. I'm talking to you, Austin. Hopefully you saw this and you enjoyed it, but it's just so good. I mean, we got Wonka last year, and that movie just didn't have the magic I felt that this had. I mean, it was okay. Some people liked it, some people didn't, but Wicked, oh my effing gosh, this movie is incredible. Oh man, I just like can't wait. Like when I'm done here, I'm gonna put on the soundtrack and blast the songs from the movie to relive those moments. And I don't listen to that kind of music really, but I'm on a high after seeing it. So go see Wicked if you haven't seen it. Do yourself a favor. Bring the whole family. If you have kids, definitely bring it. I think it's pretty appropriate for like, I'd say anyone that's 8 years old and older. There might be a little scary images with some of the witches and the flying monkeys and that kind of stuff, but nothing too bad. I mean, there were people that had little kids. There was a lady, or maybe two of them, that had babies in there that kept making noises. And I wish they wouldn't bring babies or or infants or kids that are too young to even know what's happening on the screen. Like, don't do that, people. Like leave them at home, find a babysitter, or just wait to see the movie. But but they were pretty polite. Like, once their kids started making noises, they took them immediately out of the theater. So at least that was good. But 'cause I know it's tough for parents. But yeah, this movie rules. I don't give out 10 out of 10 very often, but this is an absolute 10 out of 10. It's my number 1 movie of the year. Wicked is awesome, and it makes you want to go back and rewatch the original Wizard of Oz, and find out where the musical is still playing, if it's playing anywhere. If you can go see it live, I want to go do that. And it's just, yeah, it's so good, man. I just can't wait to own it when the 4K comes out. It's gonna be one of those ones I'm gonna buy immediately, and they are gonna have a sing-along version that releases on Christmas, I believe, so you can go see it then. But yeah, I'll just leave it there. Those are my quick thoughts. It's just so good, so much fun, and man, I'm gonna be on a high after this for a while. And I love when movies do that. I love it. So go see Wicked. And yeah, but this has been Jordan, the movie hero Anderson, and we will see you next time.